I don't know if you've noticed my painted nails yet. There's a story behind them.
Yeah, I care to tell it. I mean, I did notice, but these.
Like,
this
you fucking weirdo! What the hell?
No judgment. This is actually a social technique that I practice.
Oh.
I notice most things, Sean, but unless the other person cares to broach the subject, that's on you. Like, I'll let you decide if that's something you care to talk about or not. Like when I first met, she's like a half foot taller than me.
True.
I decided I'm not gonna say a damn thing about that. Like, I'm not gonna mention it. I'm not gonna draw attention to it at all. If she wants to talk about that, if she wants to make a thing out of that.
But like, did your eyes go for a second, or?
She claims yes. I claim no. We will argue that probably for the rest of our lives. But yeah, the whole, like, that whole first date, I was just like, nope, I'm not gonna say anything. Like, if that's something that she cares to get into, if that's something that she cares to explore, sure, we can do that. But I'm not gonna be the guy to bring it up. It's like, I noticed. It's impossible not to. I noticed your nails, Sean Parker. But I'll let you decide if that's something that you care to talk about. So
when you first said
you brought it up, sir. So what's the story? Sounds like there is one.
When you first said that you do this as a social practice, I thought you were going to say that you do intentionally weird things to gauge the reactions of the other person and see if
just throw them into the deep end, see if they can swim.
It's totally a thing I know lots of people do, because it's just they thrive on chaos. But
no, I'm not a chaotic person, Sean. I seek harmony.
Oh, you're like me then. I'm married.
But anyway, what's up with the nails, bud?
I was in a film yesterday playing a serial killer hillbilly goth kind of figure. So there's black lipstick too. That's worn off after eating for the day. Yeah, I was doing stunts. I was on top of a moving van with no harness as it was driving down pothole-filled, like, grass roads and stuff. At a fairly slow speed, but it was still like, yeah, I could get bucked right the hell off of this thing.
Holy shit.
It's not my film, but I was willing to do that. That was pretty much my idea, and it was too much fun. It was kind of like, oh shit, this is scratching that do really stupid Jackie Chan inspired stuff, high school vibes, but as a kind of more or less middle-aged person, which probably doesn't come recommended, but it was a lot of fun.
I mean, you gotta scratch that guerrilla filmmaking instinct every once in a while, because filmmaking as a form of play, I think is something that, like, in the digital age is, like, very common, honestly.
Yeah, and oh man, is that a topic that will be relevant to get into with this movie?
How's your audio setup?
That's bad. The microphone is arm's reach away from me. So this should be better.
That was a very polite way of approaching the subject. Like, how's your audio setup? That's code for you sound like dog shit.
I would have similarly broached it.
Like, yeah, you sure about that?
How's this? Is this going to be good enough?
Okay, actually, I think it corrected itself. Like, Restream tends to do that, where it's like it gives you a sign that's like you're all fucked up. Stop it. And it's like, oh wait, you're fine. Never mind. But yeah, I think we're good on the technical side.
Does this look good? Does this work?
Actually, I think it looks kind of awesome. Like, something about the lensing and, like, the way you're framed. It looks like I've broken into a broadcast that I'm not supposed to have. You're part of the Mars resistance program in Total Recall. And the podcast with Free Mars. Give these people air.
Well, watching Demolition Man has it's definitely made me realize how much of a gigantic gap of knowledge there is for just kind of that era of American popcorn movies. Like I'm really, really behind on Stallone and Schwarzenegger and the other stars of that era in this. I don't want to say this vibe because I feel like Demolition Man in many ways is somewhat singular, but there's like overlap for sure in the tone and just bombastic excess and machismo and all that. That I know that you're the right person to set me on the path of how to catch up properly on that.
Well, how about we attack that right now? I think this might actually be our entry point into the discussion proper, Sean Parker. So,
Okay.
dear listeners and hopefully viewers, this is my friend Sean Parker. He is a filmmaker. We went to college together, and he's an all-around great guy. He hit me up the other day via text a while ago, actually. Sorry it took so long, Sean, but because he had just seen the film in question, Demolition Man, from the year 1993, as directed by Marco Brambilla, and it was a just eye-opening experience. It was a life-changing experience, and he texted me, Sean Parker, a good friend of mine, and said, I need to talk at length about Demolition Man. The world needs to know my thoughts on Demolition Man because it gave me a gift that I didn't expect to receive, but now I have it and the world needs to share in it.
Well, mainly I just wanted to talk to you about it. And I knew this would be a good excuse to talk more about it than we would have just over, text and whatnot.
Yeah, it would have been a full night of texting back and forth. But for what it's worth, I like my version better. It's more grandiose and interesting.
Yeah, it makes me sound like a conceited ass who has very high opinions of his opinion that everyone must hear.
I said you were my good friend and you're an all-around great guy, Sean.
And then you offset it so hard.
You have done nothing to offset that. So I think what you preface things with, though, is a really solid way to enter the conversation because that gives important context to both our listeners and myself heading into this conversation. Because you say you have gaps in your like Hollywood action blockbuster breadth of knowledge,
far beyond just that. But yes, relevant to today, very much that.
Yeah. So Demolition Man from 1993 is kind of a big deal, especially these days. Like its cultural footprint is, I think, vast as compared to like some other 90s Stallone kind of flicks. But when you say you have gaps, I'm curious, like just how enormous these gaps might be. Like, have you seen like top 5 Stallone film? Have you seen top 5 Arnold Schwarzenegger film?
Well, throw them at me. What would be the top 5 there?
Well, top 5, not in terms of quality of film, like not in terms of like objective quality of film, but just cultural impact, box office, and I guess just like aesthetics, just like the image that is Sylvester Stallone that most people carry in their mind. So like First Blood Part 2, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, or Rambo 3 for that matter. How about like Judge Dredd is not a good one. That's not a top 5, but have you seen Judge Dredd?
I've not.
Okay, so that one comes a couple years after this one. And the 90s in general were kind of a tough time for Sylvester Stallone. It was not the golden age for him.
Oh.
Schwarzenegger fared quite a lot better. And then, after that would become governor of California and stuff. But have you seen Terminator 2?
Enough of it to say kind of.
Okay,
like
so
bits and pieces on TV over the. It's very much. I need to rewatch it. I think it properly. And Terminator
Judgment-free zone, Sean Parker.
I'm not judging. And First Blood, and Rocky. Like there's. Honestly, I think the reason that this movie surprised me as much as it did was maybe because my lack of familiarity with Stallone's game set up different expectations than what the movie actually delivered. I was very pleasantly surprised by what he brought to this movie, and it kind of felt like I did get a sense that the 90s had a lot of those misses for his career, but at this one it kind of feels like I just saw someone at the top of their game for just like comedy chops and gravitas and just blending it all in this totally wild soup. And it was great.
I think kind of what you saw was it's a symbol of the era. So it's a combination of the era and also the season of Stallone's career. Where it's like the era was the 90s. The 90s was about to be dominated by like Quentin Tarantino-esque writing, the Kevin Smithian Quentin Tarantino-esque writing. Lots of referential humor, lots of nostalgia, lots of quips from everybody. And pulling the lens just a little bit further back so that the movie's like winking at you a little bit all the time. There was a lot of that style of writing kind of worming its way into, in particular, action films because we had been inundated with so many big, loud action blockbusters featuring roided out guys like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's like, at a certain point, you're going to hit a wall and you're going to bounce off of it. And that's kind of what the 90s turned into, where it's like, instead of the roided out action hero of the 80s, it's like, we're starting to get a little bit tired of that. And we're actually starting to trend towards making fun of that a little bit, regardless of how the people who embodied those roles feel about it. And a lot of those guys were notorious for having really inflated senses of self and egos. Stallone is, politics aside, I actually admire Stallone's career quite a lot. I think he's done a lot of good stuff and a lot of varied stuff. But a common thread throughout a lot of his careers, the man got in his own way so many times. For as many times as he stepped up to the plate and just like wrenched the controls out of the hands of whoever was supposed to be directing the film, it was like a coin toss whether it was going to pan out or not.
Okay.
And so you'll notice in a lot of his like post, say, Rocky II era films, like through the late 70s and the 80s, there's a lot of movies that reek of being ghost directed by Sylvester Stallone, where it's like you look at the name of the director and you're like, who in the fuck is that? It's like, it's just some guy who is easily manipulated and intimidated. In this case, we don't quite have that. In this case, I think we have a producer who managed to kind of like right the ship. But I guess the point that I'm trying to come around to is that I think part of the reason Demolition Man works better than a lot of other Stallone films from this era is that somebody had enough sense to kind of like put him in check just a little bit. And a lot of the warts that tended to emerge in some of his films from this era, I think were tamped down a little bit. Stallone likes to ad lib. I don't think he's the best at it. And this movie, like, it's just like you can have some quips, you can have some stuff, but like, we're mostly going to give that to other people. It's like we have a young Sandra Bullock. She's charming. She's fun. It's like we got Wesley Snipes over here. He could do whatever the fuck he wants, and people are good. He's charismatic. You see, it's like Stallone. It's like, I know you thought that was funny, but sorry, it's on the cutting room floor.
Come on, is this the best you can do?
We're not going to tell you until the movie's in the theater, until it's playing, until we're at final cut. But you don't go nuts. Say your quips.
Hey, Puke Skywalker, use the Force.
It's funny because like watching it, like a lot of that it's not very apparent. Like it feels like a really cohesive movie where everybody was on the same page and just like contributing the perfect elements that all added up to something that felt fun and like, self-aware to an extent, but still really earnest. Like it's an extremely earnest movie. That's just like, it's probably my favorite like popcorn movie that I can think of. When I saw it, it was like, it was a couple months ago. It was a revival screening locally. It was like a total revelation. I couldn't believe how much I loved it. And I had to test it and show it to my wife, a week or two later. And it was just as much fun watching it on a little computer screen with her. I was like, this movie is my new like compatibility bar. If I can like really, really gel with somebody, I need to know if they love this and are just thoroughly entertained by it. So if they're not, I mean, it's fine, but I don't want to have anything to do with you.
I mean, as my fiance's friend is want to say, like, they can be wrong.
Well, that was a surprising thing because I didn't hear much about this movie being good. I was actually dragged to it by a friend who was like, "You've never seen this? Oh, you got to come. They're doing the screening." And all I knew was that it was an action movie with like time travel elements from the 90s, and that it had the Taco Bell thing. So I knew, okay, this is gonna be off kilter. There's gonna be some funny weirdness, but I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like genuinely funny or if it was just gonna have some weird unintentionally funny stuff. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Wait, where was I going?
Well, I'll just jump in and say Demolition Man is not the best advertisement, like as a title.
Right. I was thinking about that today too. It doesn't really get at the themes of the movie.
No.
You could say it applies. It applies literally to Stallone, even though it's not really an inherent part of its character. It's just kind of like what he's known for prior to the film happening. And there's like, okay, yeah, he happens to be in some buildings that blow up. It applies much more to Simon Phoenix, because he's just a walking like chaos bomb that's going off constantly. Yeah, I really am curious if there was a better title to get expectations aligned with what it is, because I think that threw me off. I thought it was going to be look at Stallone, the Demolition Man, it's all the Stallone show of him being awesome and big bombastic cool guy, and he is cool in the movie, but he just takes the piss out of himself so much, and so it's just so knowing. It just seems like he's having so much fun. It didn't feel like there's ego in this movie, and if that's not the actual case, it's kind of a miracle, because it's disguised so well. It just seemed like people trying to make the most entertaining, goofy, surprisingly like spot on satire you don't normally see in an action movie that they could make, and I think it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, the 90s were a really interesting time for action cinema, like a very interesting time. That's a lot of fun to come back to, because I think part of what makes it endure so well is that again, things move in seasons and trends and movements, and the 1980s was kind of just like bread and butter, just like Herculean guy blows shit up. Doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Maybe make some allusions to the Vietnam War and try to like rewrite history or something just to make certain sections of the American audience happy. But beyond that, it's just big guy blows shit up. It doesn't
the
have
title was referencing that era as a whole in a way, then, which it does send it up a bit too. So
yeah, whereas you get to the 90s and we're introducing subversive elements, and the high concept thriller is kind of the thing that we're doing. Like this is the same era that gave us Face Off, which is a movie that I adore.
I watched your little thing for Red Cow yesterday. I was very entertaining at it. Good job.
Well, I had to seize the opportunity because they went to a theatrical screening of it. I haven't had the pleasure myself, but like when I saw that, they need somebody to edit a conversation about Face Off, it's like, well, I know this movie like the back of my hand. I don't even have to think about where the clips are. I just know on the timeline. So that's really easy. But the point is,
drop the movie and point the cursor at the spot without seeing. Like,
just yank. It's like no more.
It took you as long to edit that movie, that film, that video, as it takes to watch it, right?
I mean, honestly, I could probably live edit that conversation. Just no more drugs for that man. I want his face off. Ready for the big ride, baby. All this shit. It just lives in here rent free. The point is, the 90s was the era of the high concept action thriller. And not only that, we were trending away from the singular action icon to more what this movie is, where it's like we have two guys on the poster. Before it was just Schwarzenegger, Stallone. Steven Seagal is marked for death. Steven Seagal is on deadly ground. Steven Seagal is above the law. Steven Seagal shares the poster with no man. Same goes for most of the action stars of this era. Whereas this one, it's kind of a sign of that like ego being checked a little bit. Where, like I said, the 90s was not a super welcoming time for Stallone. And I think there was a certain part of him that had to concede that fact. Where it's like, I don't think things are working out the same way they used to. People, they ain't coming out the way they used to. And so he's like, let's do a movie with Wesley Snipes on the poster. and see if we can sell that better than just me, Demolition Man. Because really, Demolition Man is so nondescript. Like as a title, I don't think I know of an alternative title for this movie. But it's kind of a strange one given the subject
I think
matter.
the alternative title is Idiocracy. I was so surprised by how much this movie got cribbed from. I'd seen Idiocracy many times over the last, couple decades, and I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of did it first in a different direction.
Yeah.
But like there was way more of that than I was expecting, and it was fine, frankly.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to Costco, I love you is analogous to Be Well.
Welcome to Costco, I love you.
Be well.
Be fucked.
Actually, the one that sticks with me the most of all those isms in this movie that I think my fiance and I are probably going to be saying to each other from now on is enhance your calm.
I have a sticker for that. I'm planning to put on my water bottle.
Fuck yeah.
Actually, check this out. Check this out.
What you got? I can't read it. It's backwards.
Oh no! It's you are an incredibly sensitive man who inspires joy feelings in all those around you.
You are an incredibly sensitive man who inspires joy feelings in all those around you.
Fuck yes.
And like I have, people over, clients and stuff when I'm editing their movies, and I know there's a high risk that people will see that and have no idea what it's referencing, but I will take that risk of looking like a weird jerk.
I mean, we were just talking about.
It's so every time I look over and see it on my wall, I laugh, I giggle. It lights me up inside because it's one of the funniest jokes in the movie.
We were just talking about, directors who wear their interests and their feelings on their sleeves, and Sean Parker just needs to advertise to everybody that he loves Demolition Man, and also needs some words of encouragement every once in a while.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, we could all benefit from that. We could all benefit from being well and enhancing our calm. But you used the phrasing. This is a movie where everybody was trying, and I don't know if you've done any research into this, Sean Parker. But what's interesting about that is, holy shit, did they try? As I mentioned, Stallone. I don't think Stallone is to blame for this, actually. In a lot of cases, he was. In this case, I don't think it was him. I think it was just circumstance. But this actually was a bit of a troubled production. Mm-hmm. Funny enough, the last time I had you on the show, we talked about Prisoner of War, the Louis Mandylor directed Scott Adkins film. That I forget the statistic, but I had told you that they had very proudly shot like 30 pages or something in a day or something.
Something very, very worryingly high.
Yeah, something that's like, was everybody hydrated and sane during that time period? In contrast, that movie was probably shot in 2 weeks or something. This one was scheduled for it was like 40 days that extended to like 80 or something.
Not surprised. I mean, there's so much going on in it. So many little bits that are just like, oh, this shot of them driving in this like the staging, like that's hyper complicated. That would be so much. And it's just like scene after scene of like really, really unique, complicated, constantly throwing new stuff at you. That's really like artsy. That like, I just wasn't expecting that. Yeah, it really feels like they're going all out on the production design end too.
Yeah, what's really fascinating about that is our director, who I think, sadly, just based on his filmography, like his body of work in Hollywood, not as just strictly as an artist or as a filmmaker, but in the Hollywood system, I think he may have been in over his head a little bit with this one, because this was, I believe, his first feature, and it's an enormous production with a lot of big egos. And Joel Silver is the producer. Who have you seen Tropic Thunder, John Parker?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's character in that film is Joel Silver.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your producer paired up with a guy who is known for installation art.
yeah. And still is.
And still is.
I saw him in person. He came to the screening.
No shit.
and he was presenting some of his video installations at the local, the Portland Art Museum the day before. So I didn't get to talk to him, but I got to stand close to him and hear him talk to other people.
I did not say I knew him. I said he touched me on the shoulder once.
Really, really, really fascinating guy from what I was able to gather. And he does some really, cool artsy stuff. And I guess some very generative AI focused installations more recently, but I don't need to go there. Talented, very talented.
Very, very talented guy, very varied in his interests, just an artist all around. Not the guy you would expect to be tapped to direct a Sylvester Stallone headlined major Hollywood production with, an obscenely high budget that actually inflated over the course of the production, a script that needed to be rewritten every single day, and and just all of these problems. So I hate to place the blame on him, but it's just like, in terms of like looking at the puzzle.
The blame for what exactly? This is a perfect movie.
I would say that the first half of it is. The second half gets really fucking messy. Like really messy to the point in interesting ways though. To the point where it doesn't like shrug you off. Like it doesn't like lose you, which is a credit to the production, where it's like somebody, like, despite all of its problems that are not especially visible in the final film, in spite of all of that, it's edited and composed in such a manner that it doesn't ever lose you. It's just there's a lack of propulsiveness and cohesion that starts to slip at about the halfway point, where it's like, I can't quite put my finger on what is wrong here, but I think part of it might have to do with like the weight being placed on some of the elements of the writing. Like it feels like the proportions are off a little bit. We're veering too much into whimsy and forgetting the plot a little too much. And then some of the sequencing feels like some of the things that are being said in this sequence feel like they should have happened at the beginning of the movie, but we're getting this like in the run up to the final act. But like Sylvester Stallone learning about his knitting, his conditioning. Where it's like that shows up in like the last few minutes, like in like the last few minutes of dialogue before we get to like the last action beats of the movie, where we don't have any more dialogue, and it's like this information would have been really useful to us yesterday.
That's fair. For me, I really enjoyed the bits like that kept coming up, where it's like normally we would be like, okay, this is if they had put that early in the film, it would have definitely just cemented his fish out of water and like the subversion of his tough guy image kind of thing. Like totally would work. It totally would have worked there. But I just love that it just keeps doling out information. It just made the world feel so rich. It was like when the movie ended, I was like, I don't want a sequel to this movie, but I want a lot more movies set here in this time. Like it just felt like you could go anywhere and there'd be something really interesting and funny and satirical to do with it. I want a franchise wars movie so bad. This is like a loose prequel to Demolition Man. I want to know what happened to all the other fast food restaurants.
It'd be like a backdoor Shadowrun movie or something. It's like, and actually, this is what gave way to the world of Shadowrun or something.
There's a lot of crossover.
Instead of tech companies, it's Taco Bell and Pizza Hut duking it out in the streets of LA.
Simpler times.
Speaking of Pizza Hut, trivia factoid. I believe overseas, Pizza Hut was the brand instead of Taco Bell, because Taco Bell didn't have an international presence in the same way.
So they used alternate takes or redubbed a few lines and then put the different logos on some of the shots, basically.
That would be my guess. I wouldn't be surprised if perhaps some digital technology was used to overlay some logos or something along those lines. But like for the dialogue and stuff, I'm sure they just did.
They wouldn't need to change the plated food. It's
no.
triangles of sauce like that. That's you can put that to any bread.
that's just nondescript vegetable goop. But the attire of the waiters and waitresses, though, that would look a little odd. Where it's like that's a very very festive Pizza Hut where
Also, it was a very formal Taco Bell. Like it was hilarious.
Also, it in terms of things that Demolition Man predicted, of which there are many actually at this point. It's like the Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, dual drive-through buildings that I don't know if those still exist, but there used to be one in my neighborhood where you could walk in one door and it was a Pizza Hut. You could walk out the other door and it was a Taco Bell.
Wow.
It's the merge. The universe.
Maybe they did that because they're like, no, we need to offset this war that Demolition Man is trying to foist upon us. We're going to lean hard into peace and like be all cooperative in a way we otherwise wouldn't have. Like maybe Demolition Man made that happen.
Yeah. Somebody called up a board meeting, was like, yo, I saw this movie the other day, Demolition Man, and they're talking about this franchise war thing. It's like we got battle plans drawn up.
It was the Pizza Hut board. They were panicking. They're like, we need to not get steamrolled by Taco Bell.
Taco Bell's gonna take us out. we need to parlay and talk terms. If we want Pizza Hut to persist, if we want House Hut to persist, we need to speak peace terms. Fuck. But yeah, you'd mentioned production design and production values. That actually is one of the things that jumped out at me the most upon this most recent rewatch. Because unlike you, I've seen this movie throughout my whole life, like several times. And this time, though, like every time you rewatch a movie, you find yourself like paying attention to different details. And this time, I was like, "Fuck, this is a handsome ass movie." Like It really does look very snazzy. A lot of the setups are very expensive looking and complicated. The blocking of like extras is very well coordinated, and the set designs. There's so many sets in this movie that like it's actually kind of staggering how many there are, and also the breadth of them is very impressive. They're very well conceived, very well represented on film. The backgrounds of virtually every shot are bustling and have something interesting going on all the time. And in particular, it's 1993, so it's the same year as Jurassic Park. The CGI revolution hasn't fully hit its stride yet. Like we're at that point where like this is now going to be the future. Like all The Haunting, get ready for The Haunting. Like that's going to be cinema for the remainder of the 90s. Is that Haunting bullshit?
It's not about them. It's about family. It's always been about family.
Twister and Haunting. Same director, by the way. Twister's good.
Fact.
The Haunting is not. Speed is a certified banger. Have you seen Speed, Sean Parker?
No.
Watch Speed. Like bump that to the top of your list. Speed is phenomenal. And my brother actually got angry at me at a certain point. He was like, "For fuck's sake, stop watching Speed." It's like he was like, "We have so many other tapes at this house. Why do you keep watching Speed?" I was like, "Well, I like Jeff Daniels, and I like
because I don't want to watch Speed 2.
No, I like Speed 2. Most people don't. I actually don't have a problem with. I like Speed 2 Cruise Control. It's important to add the subtitle. Anyway, where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, the CGI stuff. We weren't fully inundated with it yet, so this is largely like a tooth and nail.
And it's evident in this film when it tries to do some CGI. The final explosion when the prison blows up. It's like the most low key, like quick, throw something on top of this establishing shot.
Well, especially after all the other explosions in the movie, which were practical.
It probably blew the entire original production budget of the movie on the first building detonation.
I mean, it's a hell of a building detonation. It's incredible, actually. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they won some sort of like Taurus Award or something for that. But yeah, the final explosion is just like a. Just like a CGI fart. But what I will praise is and it's a funny thing to praise because it is the kind of thing that I think only after seeing the movie so many times you find your eye wandering towards is all the computer displays in the movie. There's so many graphics and so many instances of people interacting with user interfaces on computer screens. And
Yeah.
all of it had to be made up just for the film. And it's actually done pretty well.
It's done really well, and it's done like I'm sold on it, because it's like they're making these, early 90s depictions of far future computers designed for people who are morons and need everything spoon-fed to them. And so like every time they have a computer interface, it just feels like it's just loaded with humor, like subtle humor that's really effective, and just it's just really engaging, because it's like nothing else that I've, it's not your typical computer interfaces with technobabble. It's like, here's a person who got murder, death, killed, and that's not good.
You like to assign a coroner and in a pleasant tone. It's the feasibility of it that I think makes it work. It has a friendliness and a cohesiveness to the presentation that, like you said, it's not like technobabble. It's not just like we're going to throw a bunch of shit on the screen to make it look complicated. We're not trying to do that. We're just trying to show you that like these people can't function without this.
Yeah.
It's meant for children, essentially.
Really gentle computing that's basically doing its own thing. It barely even really seems to require human input, aside from just being like, yeah, okay, well, I'll do that thing you suggested, computer.
Well, okay, so you mentioned in passing AI, and I think it's impossible to talk about this movie in 2026 without getting into it just a little bit. That was really interesting to see, because what we're talking about here is kind of an example of where seemingly as a species we might be headed towards is cyborgs, essentially, where it's like we don't hold knowledge within ourselves so much, we have the tools to access it.
Yes, we are offloading our cognitive processing and the difficult feelings that cause pain and trauma. Oh, they can go into these little electronic boxes and they'll keep us all safe from the difficult fifis. You are an incredibly sensitive man who inspires joy feelings all around you. That's just ChatGPT and Claude when you go to it and say, I have this idea, and it's just sycophantic. We're here. If we're not careful, like it's not as pervasive and society altering as it is in Demolition Man, but like you can absolutely get the negatives of what that film is satirizing today, right here, right now. So yeah, that aspect of it is a little bit spooky, but it's nice. It's reassuring in a way. It's like none of these are new problems that we're grappling with. There's always been this fear of just like giving up your control of yourself to, a weird higher power authority kind of thing, whether it's computer or society or whatever. And this whole film is all about that, like not diving into the AI stuff much, but more just kind of it's like the whole movie is the product of one super determined, like kind of like religious level figure who decides to reshape the whole movie in the wake of the whole world in the wake of catastrophe, with I guess good intentions, maybe once upon a time.
Everybody got that?
It's just really weighty stuff for a silly action movie that's one of like the funnier like action comedies around, and it goes into some places that's like got some really, really potent hard edge satire, and I just love that. That's, I think, the big reason why it hit so hard for me.
Yeah, it's a fascinating combination of elements. I know I was a little bit critical of the director earlier, but I think a lot of those elements that have some weight to them, that kind of shine through all the humor and goofiness, I think a lot of that messaging comes direct from him. I know the script was revised so many times that it's very difficult to attribute it to anyone in particular, but I know like an earlier draft of the script was even more satirical and even sillier. A lot more focused on the humor. The first draft apparently is where the 3 seashells came from, but our director, his background, like I said, like we said, was installation art. And in particular, he seems to have a fascination with commodification and marketing and it's how it imposes itself on us as people. And it's no surprise that, the radio station in Demolition Man plays jingles, advertisements for
So
products.
good.
And my fiance, I actually had the pleasure of watching this with my fiance the other night, and she had never seen it before. And she was like, "What is that?" And I was explaining to her the Armor Hot Dogs thing, and we were talking about it, and it's like, yeah, that is the cultural legacy at a certain point. Like would if you talk to people in this like in nostalgic terms or something, a lot of times it's going to be based around marketing and advertising and those sorts of things that people hold within themselves and hold in commonality. And that's really dark and weird.
Yeah, well, because
But
like
the movie doesn't draw much attention to it. It's just it's there, and if you care to unpack it and think about it, it's like, fuck, that is
Right.
insightful and kind of scary.
yeah, I honestly the movie feels like it's just stuffed to the absolute brim with things to say and concepts, but a lot of them just end up becoming background detail, and it kind of hones in on something else that's more focused. But it's like there's just so many theses going on about what's wrong with humanity, but in such a playful, fun way that offsets the very like existential doom and gloom of it all.
I think that's the right packaging, though, is because
Yeah.
it would be oppressive. It would be very difficult to stomach if it didn't have that layer of fun.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of the goofier elements of the film just enhance it. Even as like kitchen sink as it can sometimes feel. Like I just love that you got like Glenn Shadix in here acting like he just walked off the set of Beetlejuice, and that vibe is in the mix. Like there's probably like half of this movie, it feels like a funny kids movie, and then the other half is like, you know, a more for adults action comedy, and sometimes it gets a little bit more serious, and then sometimes it gets just really, really biting and satirical. It's just all over the place, but I love every flavor in the lineup.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, is that I mentioned this earlier. It never. I do believe that it loses its way a little bit. Like the sequencing and the pacing start to get pretty shaky. Like the car's rattling. It's like there's a problem.
Well,
we're not going to pull over.
I'm really curious to dive into like, yeah, where that starts to emerge for you, and
So-
like what didn't work exactly too.
It's after the Taco Bell sequence. It's around there that things start to not fall apart. Like I said, the car is rattling, but we're gonna make it to Disney World. God damn it! It's like, we're not pulling this car over. So like the movie never loses itself. It never loses the audience. But I do think it's where it starts to feel a little off to me is when one, Sylvester Stallone mentions at least twice, maybe even 3 times in this movie, that he has a daughter. And myself,
Loose end.
quite the loose end. Myself and my fiance and virtually everybody I know who has seen this movie starts to assume, based on the context
Sandra
when
Bullock.
that is mentioned, that it's Sandra Bullock, and that
And then
like,
5 minutes later, you're like, I sure as hell hope it's not Sandra Bullock.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like, given the way that it's presented, like you could still make that land. Like, if that ends up being the outcome, it would be weird.
Yeah,
It would
yeah.
perhaps belong in a different movie, but you know,
I mean, if we can handle, you know, Luke and Leia, maybe we can graduate to the next step of and get through it.
yeah, I mean, it's icky, it's weird, but you know, nobody laid hands on anybody. Like, you could have the thing where he doesn't kiss her at the end. Instead, he gives her a pat on the back and says, "Way to go, champ."
Yeah, it's like, oh, character development. He's learned to respect the laws of this new society.
yeah, no smooches. Smooching is against the law here. If you want, go to Jersey or something. If you want smooch, not in San Angeles, but so that's one thing. It's like, how did that get through? like how did multiple mentions of this subplot get through to the final cut, and then no resolution whatsoever? Apparently, there were plans to have her be part of Edgar Friendly's underground crew.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That would have been fine. That would have worked
really
just
well.
fine. Yeah. I would have been fine with that. It's just kind of weird. It's just weird that it's even mentioned at all, because it would be so easy to just yank it out. Like, I had a wife. What happened to her? She died. Cut out the thing about the daughter. Move on.
Yeah.
Just don't even mention that he has a daughter, and then you're good. So there's that. There's pretty much around the time Simon Phoenix has his mission and is sent on his mission, and then just won't fucking do his mission.
Stupid.
He just keeps popping up in places, not killing Edgar Friendly. It's like, hey, I'm Dr. Cocteau. I am the actual villain of this film. Hey, Wesley Snipes, aka Simon Phoenix, go kill Edgar Friendly. Okay, I'll go do that. Let's show Simon Phoenix going into this manhole where Edgar Friendly resides. He jumps in. Next time we see him, he's in Dr. Cocteau's office with new clothes. He has body armor now that we don't know how he got it. And he says, yo, in order to kill Edgar Friendly, I went on a scouting mission. Not in the film. And I discovered I'm going to need more guns. Dr. Cocteau, can I have some more guns? And Dr. Cocteau's like, well, I'm an evil genius, so of course I'll give you evil maniac some more guns. Now go kill Edgar Friendly. He doesn't go and kill Edgar Friendly. He goes and he frees Jesse Ventura and a bunch of hussies. Not only did he have additional cryocons, as they're called, additional frozen killers freed from the prison. Apparently their girlfriends or like their ladies were also unfrozen.
I think that they were just normal people, and Wesley Snipes' sheer charisma tempted them to the dark side very fast.
They saw that hair, they saw that heterochromia with the eyes, and they're like, oh, this guy knows how to have a good time. He's all about smooching. It's like, this guy is nothing but smooches. He's freeing the smooches. And so then we have a really choppy action scene in the sewers. I don't know what it is about the way that sequence is put together, but there's something really off about it. It's very haphazard. Yeah. There's a lot going on. Benjamin Bratt is in this film and gets recruited to the rebels somehow off screen after getting his ass kicked by Wesley Snipes.
He bonks his head in the sewers, and then they nurse him back to health. Assumedly. Yeah. And apparently a Jesse Ventura, future governor of Minnesota, famously continued his acting career so he could acquire medical benefits. So like that's the story. Is he kept his SAG renewed? And, do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do, man. He's a former pro wrestler, former Navy SEAL, soon to be governor of Minnesota. Apparently did a lot of shitty action movies so he could keep his SAG card. And I believe this was one of them. He'd later be in Batman and Robin a few years later. He was in a lot of Schwarzenegger movies, and this is an instance of him being in a Stallone movie. He is one of the front credits people in this movie.
Yes. It's a very, very blink and you'll miss it role for above the line billing. I expected him to be like, oh, he's going to be one of like the memorable henchman guys who like gets a full on action scene against Stallone or something. But like, I didn't even know he was in the movie. I forgot about it.
He doesn't have a line of dialogue, so maybe he got dicked out of some money on that end.
Isn't he the one who puts the bullet through Cocteau?
He is.
At least? Okay. So
he's on screen. He sits and holds a woman like this and goes here, and he is present in the sewers, and he shoots the bad guy.
In the same sense that Jack Black is present in the sewers.
Yes.
It's got to be like one of his very first roles, I think, or something like that.
It has to be up there, like right up there with what Neverending Story 2 or whatever the fuck.
Oh.
One of those Neverending Story sequels. He plays a bully.
Yeah, so I guess it would have been slightly before this one.
I
maybe.
think so, but yeah, very early days Jack Black. Have you seen The Jackal, Sean Parker?
Mm-mm.
Watch The Jackal. Get back to me
Okay.
on The Jackal. I have a soft spot for The Jackal.
Okay.
Jack Black is in there. You'll remember him when you see him in it.
Hold out that pack of cigarettes!
It's like, trust me, you'll remember Jack Black's contributions to The Jackal.
Okay.
Anyway, similar to how you would remember him in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
I don't have a frame of reference for that one either.
He has dreadlocks in that one. And
Oh, okay, that sounds memorable.
He's very enthusiastic about the marijuana in that film.
Oh boy,
he doesn't make it to the final reel.
What? Shocker!
But yeah, apparently the story with Jesse Ventura in this film is he did have an action scene with Stallone in the sewers, and it was cut.
Cut after filming, or just cut?
I don't actually know if it was filmed or not, but it was at least planned. So it could be the case where it was planned and it didn't come together, or they filmed it and it looked like dog shit and they said, fuck it.
I will say that for being one of my very favorite films of all time, the action in this movie is not great. There's very few moments that are like, ooh, that was so cool. It's mostly just like, I'm laughing at the inventiveness, like the gags, the staging. There's staging related humor, and there's a lot of great dialogue in the action scenes, but they're not like impressive action scenes by and large. Snipes does some amazing kicks. I do love his showdown with Stallone in the museum. Like that whole scene is so much fun. But really, like, I don't watch this movie for the action. It's more just for the sheer charisma and comedy that's dripping off of the screen. Maybe it's a good time. We talked about Wesley Snipes a little bit, but like, holy crap. I was astounded by his performance in this movie because I have never seen anyone just commit quite so much as he did and as successfully as he did, being just effortlessly magnetic. Every single frame is really funny. He's like it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Just Simon Phoenix from front to end of the movie. The crazy thing is, in the hands of the wrong actor, like if they made a bad casting choice for Phoenix, I think it would be very, very easy for him to be utterly obnoxious, because he is nonstop, highest energy possible, goofing around, quipping with like every line of dialogue. Like it could really great, but like they paired it with someone who has just the most intense, smoldering gravitas, that it was like the perfect balance to the goofball side, and I was just captivated. And his multiple outfits are great. It's the way he spends like the first half of the movie looking like Mario.
Stupid.
Before he gets the post-apocalyptic armor. And when I was watching it the second time, my wife was like, pause, that collar, that's vacuum tubing, and it just sliced open. I was like, oh yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, these are like ATV tires or something on his
It's
shoulder.
so goofy, but he sells it. He looks great in everything that he wears in this movie somehow. And it's just like, I haven't watched a lot of Wesley Snipes stuff. Like I'm much more curious to after seeing this, but I know it's like completely not what I have seen of him. Like he's not being Blade in Demolition Man. It is not even in the same dimension. He's so singular, just effortless instrument of cartoony chaos. It's just wormed its way into my heart more than anything else.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Simon Phoenix as a character. The look alone is iconic. Apparently, Dennis Rodman drew inspiration from his look. I wasn't sure in terms of like chicken and egg which came first. But apparently, that's the story. I think a big advantage that Wesley Snipes brings to the table is that despite having martial arts skills and doing a lot of roles that require that, he's an actor first before he's like an action star. Even though he did lots of action movies, he's an actor first. And similar to like Antonio Banderas, where like he did a lot of action movies, but he is far and away an actor first.
Yeah. And think of it for the charisma more so than his fight ability. Like
exactly. So it's like if you're going to be a movie star, it's in your best interest to leverage what you have, and if you have both, but like you are an actor first, like that's probably the better way to go about it, honestly, because you can be the most amazing martial artist ever and have no sense for how to comport yourself in front of the camera, or have no instincts or timing when it comes to dialogue. But if you're an actor first and then you can apply those skills to what you know as an actor, then
yeah,
you're in a better place.
I have an amazing action choreographer who can make anyone look incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We've seen that before.
That's their job, is to make you look, and to make the production look good. So Wesley Snipes has a lot going for him, and as a screen presence, he's always compelling. I really want to check out some of his more recent stuff. Honestly, he's apparently done some pretty fun stuff in recent years.
Great!
I think with Eddie Murphy, they made I think it's Dolomite Is My Name movie. I think it's on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I think Wesley Snipes has a small role in that one. And I haven't heard much good about the Coming to America sequel, except for Wesley Snipes. I heard he is very good in it. Like he's in
that too.
I believe he is. But yeah, I've always liked him. He can do it all. I mean, he can be Blade, and he can also be in Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for all the memories, or whatever. These are both things that are on this man's resume, and he does both of them very well. Very talented guy. He's great. Stallone, I think, like you said, plays off of him very, very well, because I think he understands the assignment. That's like, I can't match this guy, so I'm not going to try. I'm going to be stable in opposition to his franticness. Now I remember where I was going. 1993, Sean Parker. This was another like pivot point in the history of Hollywood. Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey was about to take over the entire world.
Oh, was it the first Ace Ventura in 93?
I could be wrong, but it was definitely really close, because there was Ace Ventura was where it kicked off. I mean,
Dumb and Dumber was like
Color
the next year or something.
It was really close. And then The Mask was, I think, by the time we got to The Mask, we were entirely off to the races. That was probably like 95 or 96.
Oh, geez. Okay. Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber, and The Mask all came out in 1994.
There you go. I know things, Sean Parker.
Wow. Is that even allowed to have 3 major comedies in the same year with the same stuff?
To change the face of Hollywood 3 times in one calendar year? To make that many cultural contributions in one calendar year? Point is, this kind of like manic bouncing off the walls character was about to become the norm.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting to is, I didn't mention it, but a movie that I had in my head the whole time I was watching this movie this time, Batman Forever, I believe was 90. That may have been 94, 95. And this movie, the whole time, I'm like, fuck. This is giving me really, really, really strong Batman Forever vibes. And the reason why is because it has the same composer. Elliot Goldenthal composed both the Joel Schumacher Batman films.
The score in this is so good. So good.
It's consummately Goldenthal. Like it has all of his trademarks on it. It's very distinct. It's very unique.
Yeah. It doesn't hint at the goofy. Like,
no.
It's
it's
like an epic operatic. Like there's stuff that feels like, oh man, this feels like it would be for some like action thriller set in the Vatican. Some of the songs in this movie. And it's got the good like 90s, kind of electronic elements woven in too. Yeah. I really wanted to put the soundtrack on.
His instrumentation is one of his trademarks. He kind of favors semi-industrial tones. Like there's a lot of like metal clanging tones that'll play in his music. A lot of synth stuff. The one facet of the soundtrack that bothers me is Simon Phoenix's music. The DJ scratches in time to his punches are a little bit cringe.
Stupid.
I loved it. I was rolling like that was that. Oh my god! I can't say enough good things about that fight scene with him just dunking on all the hapless cops.
Speaking of which, the AI stuff with the guy asking ChatGPT, how do I confront this man? Like, step forward and in an aggressive tone or in an assertive tone, tell him to lay down and put his hands behind his back. Okay, ChatGPT, I'm going to do that.
He didn't do it. What the hell?
Do it again in a more assertive tone.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. It's like, is that our future? Because I think it might be our future. I don't know how to human. ChatGPT, tell me how to human. But yeah, the score of this one is from the same guy who did Batman Forever and Batman and Robin and Alien 3. Very talented fella. Personally, not one of my favorites, but I miss scores like this so badly because I know there is a ton of amazing music out there in films, but it's very hard for me to attribute it to anyone in particular because it's just like themes and melodies are just kind of gone.
Sure.
I don't have, it doesn't resonate the same way as movies from this era and eras prior to it. Like we were spoiled, man. Like I didn't realize it until we got some years away from it. But it's like, man, I was spoiled by like every Hollywood blockbuster that came out in my life, like in my early lifetime. And the Batman connection like extends to like the production, like the lavish production design and the steady hero versus the frantic villain. Very colorful. It feels very Batman and Joker, Batman and Riddler kind of.
Oh yeah, Wesley Snipes is just like, he's basically doing like a Adam West era Batman villain shtick in a way. Like he would fit right in. It's just that over the top,
which is what Jim Carrey was doing,
which works very well for Batman Forever too. Yeah. I'm getting the sense that you have a fondness for that movie more so than the world tends to have, and if so, I'm there with you. Just saying.
It's funny because like I don't know if that's necessarily true. We did a Batman month here at Catching Up on Cinema many years ago, and my co-host at the time, Kyle, he's I think close to your age. He's probably the same age as you, Sean, which means a couple years younger than me. He adores Batman Forever. He loves it's like it's his movie. I gave him as like a housewarming gift the was it the McDonald's frosted mugs that they used as promotional items for that movie? And he was like, yes, this is treasure. Thank you, sir. So he loves Batman Forever. And I was always a little bit lukewarm on Batman Forever. I mean, to be fair, I think a lot of that came from those fucking video games. Because Batman Forever had some shit-ass video games. I don't know if you ever played Batman Forever on the Sega Genesis or the Super Nintendo, Sean Parker.
I think I did at friends' houses not enough to like sour my whole viewing experience. I just picturing you as a kid watching, thinking about bullshit game mechanics with a the whole time.
The whole time watching this movie, I'm thinking to myself, man, I had to press the select button to shoot the grappling hook. An essential gameplay feature, and I have to use the select button. Who the fuck uses the select button for anything? Nobody. This is busted as shit. This game fucking sucks. But for some reason, me and my buddy played it every time I saw him. we never got out of that goddamn prison. Which is the first
that's just going through your head every time that Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones are hamming it up and doing funny stuff. It's just falling on deaf ears.
Yeah, the whole time I'm just select button. Jeez. No, Batman Forever is a funny one because I think it's a very fascinating film. I think I find it more fascinating than I do entertaining. Like what went into it is legitimately really interesting and cool stuff. Joel Schumacher as a filmmaker was kind of an interesting person with some interesting sensibilities. And from an aesthetic standpoint, his design philosophies were very unique at that time, and very loud, which also
it was a tone shift for a shared continuity of the Burton films. Like it was shared continuity, right? Or was it kind of like never really addressed?
I think they found ways to massage that out of it, but I think by all rights, it was intended to be an actual extension to what came before.
Because it's not like they, redid any characters. It was kind of like, okay, Burton did these villains, we're not going to use them again, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean the whole Burton verse of Batman films is fascinating.
Can you say a verse when it's 2 movies?
Well, it was intended to be 3, and Billy D. Williams was supposed to be Two-Face.
Right. Okay, so they did that. They did that recast, and that's
Tommy Lee Jones.
Different.
See, what happened was Warner Brothers saw Batman Returns and said, "Whoa, well, that ain't what I paid for." I don't know what the fuck that is. But, I love Batman Returns. I think it might be my favorite Batman film.
Oh wow,
Batman Returns is my shit. Like that's a 5-star fucking film to me. But Warner Brothers,
like you like your Batman movies where he just puts bombs down people's pants.
Yeah, he blows them up with a smile. I like my Batman to murder and
not make any big deal about it.
Yep. I like my Batman to sleep with people and blow people up and have no remorse. Yeah, no. I like my Batman horny and murderous.
What? Sure.
What happened was Batman Returns came out in the summer, I believe. It was a summer blockbuster with Happy Meal toys and the whole bit, and Warner Brothers said, "Fuck." Right.
Yeah. Okay.
They bounced off of that. They said,
"I can see the stress in the boardroom that this would all have in terms of how they're, trying to market this thing and what it is."
So let's bring up noted gay filmmaker Joel Schumacher and say, can you make us something friendly?
And he definitely, sanded off the dark edges.
He did the job. Like, if you listen to his commentary, he knew what he was being hired for, and he gave them what they asked for. Like, he kind of had like a stewardly mentality about where he's like, they asked me to make a toy commercial. I made him a toy commercial, and while I was at it, I decided to, put some subtext in there and some themes, and there's actual stuff going on in the movie if you care to notice it. Not many people did. But it's lights and sound and the kids will like it, and sign me up for round 2, whatever. But Batman Forever has a lot of interesting elements to it. There is a rumored, actually I think it's confirmed, a director's cut of it. I mean, Joel Schumacher's passed on, so he's not around to vouch for it anymore, but there is a cut of it apparently that has a lot of elements reinserted into it. It's supposed to be a darker, more interesting experience. There's a lot of interesting subtext having to do with the idea of having like a shadow self.
Okay. That's a great thing to put into a Batman story.
Yeah, that's some of that Batman shit. It's like, it's just like, hey, this Bruce Wayne character is tortured. One might even think closeted in some regard. And has a public persona that he puts forth via a costume or whatever. It's like there's stuff there. Yeah, so Batman Forever, I think, is a very interesting film. But every time I watch it, I'm just thinking about that damn Super Nintendo game. No, I don't hate Batman Forever.
Drama comes in all forms, I suppose. So
I have softened quite a lot on Batman Forever in recent years, and actually, it's the podcast that like brought that about. It's when I was a kid, I didn't have the time of day for it, but when I actually did some research and I rewatched it and I talked with Kyle about it, I found those nuggets. Like I was like, okay, there's a lot going on here. Like this is a fucking film.
You realize that your logic for dismissing it could not stand up in a debate format.
Pretty much. I was able to take a step back and be like, yeah, okay. Batman and Robin, on the other hand.
Now that I have not seen. I have seen enough to know that I'm good.
I don't know, man. You might, if you're trying to educate yourself on 90s blockbusters, Batman and Robin might be worth a look.
Okay.
If you're in for, a camp.
If in a certain mood, yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe with how much I love Demolition Man, maybe I would enjoy Batman and Robin more than the average person. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, Batman and Robin is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
It has a lot going on aesthetically.
If only they had Wesley Snipes instead of George Clooney, then maybe I would have.
I mean, anyone instead of George Clooney, honestly, because you can, aside from some of the interviews that George Clooney did many years after the fact, talking about the directing process of the film, like aside from that, he didn't make many contributions to the actual film. There's a hilarious interview of him talking about working with Joel Schumacher. Joel Schumacher on a megaphone, giving them emotional context for the scene. It's like, your parents are dead. You're miserable. Action.
Directing it like a silent movie.
Okay, people. All right, George. Your parents are dead. You have nothing to live for. Action.
So, like, every scene with Batman, it's just like, your parents are dead. You're miserable. Action.
That's going to be a fun end result.
I mean, George Clooney's just bored out of his mind on that film. Like he's just checked the fuck out, and that's what happens when you're making a film that exists to be product. By Batman Forever, some of that depth did sneak through. It did actually get through a little bit. Like it's there. It's buried under layers of Jim Carrey, but it's there. By the time you get to Batman and Robin, though, it's just like all of that has been sanded off. This is a toy commercial, and everybody who's in the film is kind of cognizant of that fact and just not exactly giving their all. Like Uma Thurman's doing something. Like she's like, I'm in a campy film. I'm gonna do everything big. and same with Schwarzenegger.
He knows the assignment.
He knows. He's having a good time. But like Chris O'Donnell and George Clooney, they're just like, fuck. And Alicia Silverstone's probably just like uncomfortable. That outfit couldn't have been fun.
Oh boy.
But yeah. Batman Forever and Batman Robin, that was like stunt casting to the extreme, where it's just like, who is the biggest name we can get right now? It's like The Fugitive just came out, Tommy Lee Jones. Like Ace Ventura and all that other shit, Jim Carrey. Like Batman Robin, it's like George Clooney, ER, all that, whatever the fuck. It's like, get in here. Pulp Fiction was a good movie. Like Uma Thurman, get in here. All that shit. Anyway, we've been talking about Batman for a while.
Yeah, I guess because the humor of Demolition Man was reminding us of that energy of where the direction of comic relief characters in action movies in the 90s. Something
just
along
that energy. The Wesley Snipes energy was very reminiscent to me of the Jim Carrey era of comics.
Oh yeah. I can see that. Oh, it's just, I don't know. It's in a league of its own for me. I don't know what it is. There's so many things all working together that make that character work so great. And what's interesting is that the movie does not shy away. Like as far as like it makes you like him. It makes you enjoy seeing him on screen. He's a delight. But the movie's also like, by the way, let us remind you, he's one of the most horrible people to walk the earth, even before he got his like terrorist programming while he was in cryo sleep. They're like reading off his rap sheet, and like the movie's just like lets you know like, oh, he's a rapist. And you have to like, be paying attention and reading, but it's like, oh, okay, that's who this guy is that we find so just charismatic and endearing for this movie's 2-hour runtime. Okay, that's a bold choice, but it kind of adds. For one, it's like it makes sense that he would be that level of a dark and hardened criminal at heart, but also I guess it just kind of lends more of just kind of, I keep using the word gravitas, but like the movie gives you a lot of like really cartoony elements, but then grounds it in like some really stuff that you think would normally be played straighter and more dramatic.
I think what's interesting about the Simon Phoenix character, and this is funny that we're talking about depth in Demolition Man in regards to the character. What's interesting about him is that he's like wanton id.
Yeah.
And that's what makes him the correct villain for this world and this story in particular, is that this whole world is based around restraint. It's based around taking all the things that are regular human impulses, maybe impulses that need to be held in check every once in a while, but impulses that come naturally. And the entire society has agreed to repress all of it in favor of security. Where it's like, we'll all behave under this umbrella of rules and restraint, and in exchange, we will all be safe and taken care of, as long as we don't step out of line. And then he shows up, and like you said, he's a fucking rapist. As far as taking one's wants above the needs and requirements of all others, that's about as awful and vile as it gets. Mm-hmm. He's representative of that, where it's like, this is a person that has zero restraint. It's like, if he has an impulse to blow up your car or murder you or do whatever, he's just gonna do it, and he's gonna smile while he's at it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you have to like peel back a couple of layers to see like the true darkness of the character. But it's like, when you think of it in those terms, it's like, yeah, like this society would be utterly flabbergasted and horrified by anything this guy does. Where it's like, hang on, you mean you don't talk to your chat GPT to see if that's okay first? He's like, no, I punch a guy because he offended me. Or because it's fun.
Because I was bored.
Because I was bored.
And I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me feel good.
And I do like that they kind of like try to have it both ways, but there's at least a line of dialogue in there where John Spartan, Sylvester Stallone, it's at the Taco Bell, the Battle of the Bell. He's beating up on Edgar Friendly's people, not realizing that they're just trying to steal food for themselves. And all the like Glenn Shaddix and Dr. Cocteau, all the people in their kimonos and stuff are like clapping every time he's hitting people. And it's like, these are like pretty savage blows. Like, he's bludgeoning people with steel pipes and stuff. And like Sandy Bullock's there too, and she's like, yay! So like she's watching Blue's Clues or some shit. And then she like runs up after the fracas is settled, and she's like, wow, you were so amazing and heroic and all that. And he just kind of like throws his arms up, and he's like, dude, I just like broke that guy's face. Like, it's like, I know you were entertained, but it's like, hurting people's not good. But then he shrugs and he's like, well, I mean, sometimes it's good, but like in most cases it's not. I thought that was a good way to like have their cake and eat it too. Like, yes, it's a big dumb action movie, but also it's like acknowledging that it's like there's a proper application of violence.
Yeah. Stallone's character is very, for having his reputation as the Demolition Man, he's not like the loose cannon stereotype, unless it just kind of happens. It seems like chaos follows him a bit. That's a little bit not always his fault. But he tries to be really responsible, and it's kind of an interesting, old-fashioned, like chivalrous kind of vibe he brings. And it's fun that he and Phoenix just clash so much with the world, but in very different ways. Like they're both battling Cocteau in a way.
Yeah.
The way that they go about it is remarkably different worldviews.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that bit that was you had mentioned this earlier. There's a bit where Stallone he's like scratching at a part of his hand, and he is informed that he's had a tracing microchip implanted in his hand that apparently to live in Cocteau's realm, that's a requirement. It's like some Gattaca shit.
Yeah.
Some Elon Musk shit or Palantir shit if we're, talking 2026 terms.
Yeah.
And his instant reaction to it is like, I think he just calls it straight up like fascist crap. He's like, fascist crap makes me want to puke.
Sensors all over the city can zero in on anyone at any time.
I can't even conceive a visual of what you police officers did before it was developed.
We work for a living. This fascist crap makes me want to puke.
And like everybody else in the room is just like, but that's how we live. And he's like, you take a shit and the Dr. Cocteau knows where you are. You're okay with that. I don't want to know where. I wouldn't want people to know when and where I'm taking a shit. But the chief of the police department has like this fetishistic devotion to his computer, where it's like, our computers have already figured out how to deal with Simon Phoenix. And they're like, he's like, our computers have determined that Simon Phoenix is going to open a drug lab and start selling on the streets of our fair city. And so I'm just like, are you fucking nuts? Like, he's not gonna open a business. It's like, what are you talking about?
Well, the chart says.
And then later on, the same guy, the chief of police in the city, is saying, "What? We have a new plan how to head off Simon Phoenix. We're going to wait for the next murder, death, kill, and then we'll report to the scene." Because everyone's like, know where he
so
is.
Smart.
And John Spartan just looks at him and he's like, "Good plan."
At that point, he knows like this is the best like we can get out of that.
Yeah, it's like
there's no sense trying to improve upon.
Yeah, there is no way I'm going to get through to this guy. So just let him feel that he won, and I'm gonna go over here now.
Let the next poor sap die so that the police can get a lead.
I mean that's the humor of it. Is he's basically saying, we'll wait for someone else to die and then we'll try to do something about it. Like, okay, great plan.
Which is like different how from the previous several times.
It's the same shit over and over and over again.
Has the planet gone mad?
But yeah, it is neat how both of them, like you say, like are in opposition to Cocteau just from very, like, they take very different stances and very different approaches to how they do it.
And by extension to the police as well. I mean, that chief character, again, like every moment he's on screen, I'm delighted. It's so funny. But like that character could have easily been, they could have gone the chief antagonist route with him, just him versus Stallone, and on some level, like that it definitely feels like the level of conflict between them could have steered it that way if they wanted to. But there's a lot of conflict going on in this movie. Stallone just butting heads with literally every person that there is that he talks to.
including the plumbing. By the way, I'll get to that in a second. But the chief, have you seen the Shawshank Redemption, Sean Parker?
Yeah, and it took me a little research to realize it was the same actor as the warden.
His head shaved and he's got goofy glasses.
When I first watched this movie, I was like, I know Peter Sellers passed away before this came out, but is that Peter Sellers? I knew like that's not, it couldn't possibly be, but I'm getting a major Peter Sellers vibe off of the Chief of Police.
Wow, that would have been a really different movie.
Well, I mean, if it was a corpse playing the Chief of Police, sure. I could easily see Peter Sellers kind of doing what he did. Like that's what really threw me off and made me go like, wait.
Just the absurdity of like everything this guy's saying is not funny, and yet somehow it's also hilarious.
yeah, and the commitment and like just such a character, like just the bald cap and everything, like.
Yeah, the reason I brought up Shawshank is just because he plays the most despicable asshole in the world in that movie.
Yeah.
Here he is doing the same thing. I think he was also the same character in the movie Bats. Definitely the same character in Broken Arrow. Speaking of which, have you seen Broken Arrow, Sean Parker?
I'm not.
It's a lesser John Woo. It was in the before times. It was in the before times before Face Off, you see. So he had less creative direction.
The BFO era.
Yes, exactly. This is a very dark times, you see. I'm pretty sure the same guy played the same character in the Netflix Daredevil show as well. He has a remarkable talent for playing stubborn assholes.
And he did Shawshank after this, didn't he?
I think so. I think that was like 94. Yeah.
And then once he did that, it was like any hope of being non-typecast were just totally thrown out the window.
Your cinema's greatest asshole. I'm sorry.
It's a pretty high honor.
Jesse Ventura needs to keep his SAG card. I guess I do too. It's just like, I will be that asshole.
And oh my goodness, is he good at it?
It really is. Like, I mean, he's a very talented actor. Like it's not entirely stunt casting. It also helps that he's really good. But yeah, Dennis Leary's also in this movie. Should point that out in terms of assholes.
Yeah. He's a hair's breadth away from just going into the lyrics of Asshole when he does his big monologue about freedom.
He is a hair off.
He just becomes himself.
I don't think there was any real script whenever Dennis Leary was on screen. I think they just let him off the chain.
It's just like Dennis picks his favorite stand-up set routine here, and then the action scene starts.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just roll camera, let him go.
I will say though, great choice though for for the face of the resistance in that kind of a world. Like that was good stunt casting.
Very good. Actually, yeah, like he actually has one really good line in there where like Stallone's like telling him like, you are inadvertently the leader of a movement. You do realize this? And I think he like very sincerely comes back and says, I'm not a leader. I just go places and people follow me sometimes. And I was like, that's
There's an even better line from him. He brandishes his weapon and just says, we use these to shop for fucking groceries.
Yeah. That's at the end when they're like starting to come like reconcile just a little bit. But yeah, that one jumped out too. I was like, that's a pretty good line. I was like, this is a tool, motherfucker. Any other thoughts you want to toss out there about Demolition Man, Sean Parker? 3 seashells. Do you have an idea of the logistics of the 3 seashells? Because apparently there exist infographics.
Yeah, I've seen the infographics long ago, so I knew that was the other thing I knew about this movie going in. Well, okay, so the one is that you use 2 to like clamp onto the turd and pull it out, and the third to scrape, which works in the logic of this world than in Demolition Man, where things are borderline cartoon. Like, sure, I guess I could buy that. I don't think that would work very well.
They're all vegetarians, so I'm guessing they get their fiber. So that would be essential for this to work.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Work with 3 seashells.
Because that's what I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind. Like, wouldn't you have to do like so many pulls? But maybe not. The other though, someone was theorizing that they're buttons that like activate things inside the toilet that would like maybe vaporize the matter and bathe you or something. Like you don't actually pick them up.
Bidet.
Something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah, I had heard the clamp and pull and the scrape.
Mm-hmm.
And then just this morning I read that somebody actually talked to the writer of the film, like threw at them a theory, like just happened upon them in public and chatted them up about this. They just had it in the holster ready to go. Apparently their theory was it's not a clamp, it's a pry, it's a spreader. So you jam the 2 up there and then you open your asshole and
everything falls out.
And then everything falls out and you clean up the detritus with the third.
Oh God.
Yeah, all of these sound awful, by the way. These are rigid. These are rigid clamshells, General.
That is by far the worst.
Yeah, that to me, I was like, no. I will take my chances with the leaves out back. Stallone was onto something with those papers. By the way, excellent running gag.
Be fucked.
Johnsman, you are fined 1.
And it is a remarkably
violation of the verbal morality statute or something like that.
It's funny. The first time it happens is Sandy Bullock is muttering to herself around a corner. She calls her boss an asshole.
Oh, right.
And then I noticed that the sound, the voice that speaks from the box when she's fined says sotto voce. It's kind of like a cute allusion to the fact that like she's doing so like in private, I guess, like as opposed to like a public outburst. But they keep it going so effectively throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Where it just like in the background of whatever the fuck scene, you'll just hear.
It would have been more humane to stake me down and leave me to the fucking crows.
It's so like as an editor, that would have been so much fun.
Oh yeah, no, the commitment to it is really admirable and adds a lot.
Oh yeah.
I think there's a few times where they don't do it, where it's like, oh, they totally could have, but it doesn't really stand out that much. They do it enough that it feels really, really, really thorough, and I loved it every time.
Yeah, no, I still think that's hilarious. I love stuff like that, and they give themselves like a little bit of wiggle room there, where it's like you do notice during the museum gunfight, like they're just cussing back and forth quite a lot.
That's the point where it's like, wait, it was just fine.
It was just going, but it's like, you know, like there's a fire.
Maybe the gunfire is covering up the profanity for the little, you know, microphone or something.
I'm guessing, like from a production standpoint, it was
or got shot.
Yeah, that was my guess. It's like you could write it off as like in the midst of the crossfire, the box got blown up or something.
Mm-hmm.
You could have shown that. Maybe that would have made me happy. Nobody.
They're already $800 million over budget now. They couldn't afford that extra cutaway.
we need you to film. We need you to do a pickup shot of this box exploding. Yeah, this film will not be complete until we have that shot. But yeah, I have to guess from like a production standpoint, it was like a deemed too noisy a scene already. That to have that over the dialogue and the gunfire would just be too many layers of sound or something. I don't know.
Maybe so.
Would have been better.
I think so. Infinitesimally, it barely mattered at all, but still.
It's important to me, damn it. But if you don't have anything else you want to get into, Sean Parker, I do have some homework for you.
Throw it at me.
Subject of 90s action films. Speed, I mentioned. You do need to see Speed. You do. Like
okay.
it is probably like a top 10 movie for me personally. I adore Speed. I think it has just a amazing propulsiveness to it that it goes. And it's despite the title, like it's never like oppressive, like it never feels like, oh my god, slow the fuck down. It's like, no, this is just a really tightly structured movie.
Nice.
And just from every standpoint, it's very effective. It helps that it's from Jan de Bont, Dutch cinematographer who worked with Paul Verhoeven many times in his career. I think it was his feature film debut, and as a result, it looks like $1 million. And it sings. I think it's an awesome movie. Harder, much tougher sell, but Last Action Hero.
Oh, I have been wanting to see that.
Yeah, might be a tough sell because it helps if you have a background in the films that it is parodying.
Maybe I'll put that down the list after I get the essentials first.
Like if you haven't seen Lethal Weapon, if you haven't seen...
Oh, I've seen all the Lethal Weapons.
I love Lethal.
we have a weird, as far as if it still holds, we have a weird shared opinion about the Lethal Weapon series.
What's that?
You once said that you also felt like they got more entertaining with each sequel.
Yeah, I think they become more watchable as they go. Like the first one is the hardest one for me to go back to. Because the characters aren't crystallized yet, and their origins aren't my favorite part of their story. Honestly, it's like it's not until 2 that like everything really coalesces into what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
and 3 is the least of them, and yet it's probably the one I've seen the most for some fucking reason. And then 4 like is buoyed by just the rapport and the chemistry of all the performers, and the action is top tier. Like they really spared no expense in actually trying to like take a series that, in spite of how much gunfire is in all of the films, from an action standpoint, none of the first Lethal Weapon, like the first 3 Lethal Weapon films, were truly remarkable. But then you get to the 4th one, it's like, we got to step our shit up.
I picked up on that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found myself enjoying them more with each with each sequel, which I know is not a universally held opinion by any means, and I get it. But
yeah, I think that's neat. I think that speaks to like how we relate as people. Where it's like, we found value in this. What the fuck is wrong with the rest of you?
I mean, the fourth one does have Jet Li, so there's that.
As good Jet Li. Like he's not being asked to do anything remarkable by the standards of like his Chinese filmography at that point.
No,
but
no.
Fuck if that final battle is not amazing. Like in terms of just brutality, it's like Jesus Christ, how did we get here? Like I did not see this coming, but I'm really glad we got here.
It's always a tricky balance when you have the good guys outnumber the bad guys at the end of a movie, and you still and you don't feel like bad about it. But like they sell how much of a force he is, that it does take both of our leads to just barely squeak out a victory against him. That definitely was the way to go.
And I've always said that the lead up to a fight on film, or even in real life, like watching like a boxing match or something, the lead up is often like a large contributor to the payoff. Mm-hmm. And the lead up to that, the dialogue right beforehand is just the most amazing. It's just like Mel Gibson's like they're about to leave. They're about to just like walk away. They're like, we can't beat this guy. Like we are two old men. Fuck this. And they're about to leave, and then Mel Gibson's like musing about how he's like he took my gun apart with just like one deft move. Raj, how did he do that? And like they know each other. They're brothers at this point. He's like, well, let's go ask him. That's the attitude. It's like, it's not let's go kick this guy's ass. It's like, well, let's go
unpack this enigma.
Yeah, it's just how resigned to it he is. Where he's just like, if you jump, I jump. Okay.
Yeah. At that point, they're like, we've been around the block. We've had a good life. If it ends here. Man, whatever.
Like, I sat on a toilet bomb a couple movies ago. I'm not surprised by anything anymore.
That was the right choice.
Yeah. Let's go fuck up Jet Li.
or try.
Or die trying. Yeah, let's go fight him in the same place that the Ninja Turtles fought Super Shredder. Definitely looked like the same set.
Oh man, I wonder.
Speaking of which, that's a movie we haven't done for the podcast. Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
That is a singular film too.
Oh, I watched the fuck out of Secret of the Ooze. Like I don't know why, but I watch that movie constantly. But yeah,
it's something else.
Speed, Last Action Hero. What's your background with Schwarzenegger? Like, what of his like 80s and 90s stuff have you seen?
Oh my god, not a lot.
Okay, no judgment.
I don't want to like overlook anything. I feel like I had to. Actually, okay, this is going to sound terrible, but the only movie of his that I know I've seen in its entirety is Terminator 3.
Oh wow, wow, that's wild.
Yeah, when it came out on video. I was probably in high school. I saw it then, and just looking through. I mean, I've seen enough of Terminator 2 to kind of say I've seen it, but it doesn't. It's just too fragmented. So the answer, Predator. I've seen Predator.
Fuck yeah.
So at least I've got that. But that is literally, oh my god, that's the only other Schwarzenegger movie from that general era I've seen.
Parker. This is a safe space. You're not being judged.
And Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan.
You
counts as a Schwarzenegger movie too.
Yes. They are both in that film. They do have, I think, a scene together.
Yes,
that's it.
Yeah, it's what you see in the trailer is what you get.
Yeah, it's what Schwarzenegger is like a sheik or something.
Yeah, talking about his harem in this Disney family movie.
They did another movie many years later where they actually have a fight sequence against each other. Sean Parker.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that scene. No.
Oh.
No, it's kind of similar to when we're hoping, like, when are Jet Li and Jackie Chan going to face off in a movie? And of all things, it happens in Forbidden Kingdom. It's just like, I don't think I want to unearth that that level of anger right now.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't blame you. That was supposed to be like a monumental moment in martial arts cinema. It's like this venue here. It's like you're gonna have the largest collision of generational talent. And you're gonna stage it in a back alley where like nobody's gonna see it, and if they do, they're not gonna be happy about it. It's like, oh man, come on. No, that movie's fucking dog shit.
Yeah, it wasn't even really a fight. It was just like a bunch of visual effects and weird production design stuff. They didn't really get to do what they do. They didn't get to lean on their strengths very much at all. It's shot exactly the way Jackie Chan movies aren't shot, so you can actually be impressed by the choreography in his films, and then they just go ahead and mask all that with the Hollywood hiding camera work crap. And then on top of it all, just the fact that they are just these supporting characters to this bland little white boy becoming the savior of Chinese mythology or whatever was going on. I've dumped a lot of it from my brain, but I'll never forget that.
Yeah. It was the, forgive the term, but the Chinese gold rush of Hollywood blockbuster cinema. It's like, we're going to make The Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. We're going to make that.
Oh, yeah, those were the same year.
We're going to make a little bit later The Great Wall with Matt Damon.
Right.
I think Willem Dafoe. It was a big money play, and it's sad that had to be where the collaboration happened.
And I didn't see any of those other movies because they looked awful. And the Forbidden Kingdom also, it looked bad. Like I was definitely going like, oh,
but it was making promises.
It was making promises, and there was just so much. Like I had to see it. It was just like it was an obligation, and then there was just such a betrayal.
Betrayal! Betrayal! Betrayed me!
It's sad, but oftentimes
I think we're owed a do-over. I think we need to wipe that movie from our memory, and we'll get Jackie Chan and Jet Li in their 70s going at it at some point to make up for it.
But
it could only go up.
Jet Li has thyroid problems now. He's not doing so hot, Sean Parker. He's a philanthropist.
They can get into a heated argument. That would be more intense than what we got in the Forbidden Kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, Jackie Chan and Donnie Yen didn't fare much better, honestly.
Shanghai Nights.
Shanghai Nights, yes.
Now, I do like that movie, but
it's okay.
Yen got robbed, for sure.
He always got robbed when he came to Hollywood. I mean, Highlander was one of his better ones. Blade 2 was one of his better ones, but all of his contributions were just choreography. Like his inclusion in Blade 2 just seemed like, just a nod.
Didn't he get killed off screen?
Yes, he did. He got killed off screen. Fuck. It's just fuck.
That says it all about the disrespect.
You gotta, I mean, your lighting scheme right now tells me you need to see Terminator 2 in its entirety.
Yep. After watching Terminator 1.
After watching Terminator 1, because that movie has grown exponentially. Like I used to be like most people, and I was all in on Terminator 2, and I don't know what it is, but I got older, and now I just adore Terminator 1.
I've heard a lot of opinions coming around on preferring 1 now. So
it's really solid. Like it's really tightly constructed, and it has a mean, grim, and gritty quality to it that's absent from the second one. That I find myself reaching for in some cases, because tonally they're very, very different. But Terminator 2, for a lot of people in my relative age range, is the perfect movie. It is one of the most beloved action films of all time, with good
reason.
With good reason. It's really good. I'm really glad you've seen Predator. That's maybe a top 5 all-time movie for me personally.
Did I send you my re-edit of Predator?
No, you did a re-edit
of Carl Weathers' death scene. I cut it to where when his arm gets blown off, it cuts to all the footage of when they're shooting the forest stuff.
Friendly fire.
So it's just like his. So it's just his arm is firing this machine gun for like 30 seconds straight, mowing down the entire jungle,
blowing up the jungle. Knowing you, I'm guessing you put the over it.
Oh, if I had thought to. Oh, wait, no, wait, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah, when he gets impaled.
That's at the end.
Yeah.
But also his scream while his arm is blown off. Like I was able to loop that, so he's just screaming the entire time that the gun is fired.
Okay. Yeah, send that to me, buddy. I need to see.
Yeah, yeah. It goes places you won't expect too.
I'm sure. All right. Well, we've been rambling for a long time. I don't know how much of this is actually interesting to anyone but us, but I had a blast.
Well, me too. Always fun.
Okay. Well, this was Demolition Man. I mean, we went a lot of different directions, but this is ostensibly our Demolition Man review, as directed by Marco Brambilla.
We demolished the format of your show.
There is no format. But before we go, hey, Sean Parker, you do stuff on the internet sometimes, and you're my good friend. So would you care to share with our audience where they can find you and your cool internet stuff, your videos and such?
Sure. Well, I'm just in the process of kind of starting a new endeavor of a bunch of mostly sketch comedy stuff that is not out yet. But I have a big body of work under Hapstance Films, and I'm working on a puppet-based mystery comedy, kind of family-friendly-ish series called Fogtown, trying to bring back the, not to bring back, but to help aid in the renaissance of the FMV video game genre in the process, as we're making the show, or trying to make some games too, with real puppetry. I'm just in love with that format. We didn't even talk about the fact that there's a Demolition Man FMV. It was really fun to see those clips again that you sent me last night.
Good job. You saved the town, you saved the people, you saved everybody, and Phoenix is gone. Bravo.
Yeah, from the 3DO game.
Oh, man, what an era. So, yeah, that's very much my vibes and where I'd like to take my career next.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Sean. I'll definitely include some links as to how to get to Fogtown and Hapstance Films and all that. Definitely check it out. Sean's a super talented guy. I've known him since college. He just don't stop. So keep going.
Well, thank you.
But yeah, that being said, my show is called Catching Up on Cinema. You can find it pretty much everywhere podcasts are found, as well as on the YouTube. We do a live stream once a month that Sean Parker, I don't know if you'd be interested, but it'd be kind of cool to have you on there. We talk about our DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, like physical media collections.
Oh,
so
sure.
I don't know if you have a substantial collection of yours. It's never actually been shown. If that's
a small one, yeah. No, let's do it. I think you probably invited me to do that a year ago. The last time I was.
I mean, that's the nature of our relationship.
But hey, at least it's only been a year. It wasn't like the 4 years or so since the previous time.
Yeah, Prisoner of War was 2025. So Demolition Man 2026. So I'll see you in a year.
And the trajectory is just skyrocketed between those two.
But yeah, we'll have to have you on sometime because I mean you'd fit in just fine.
Thank you.
It's called Tales from the Shelf. We talk about our physical media collections. Usually we try to base the conversation around like a unifying theme of some sort.
Great.
So look forward to that once a month here on the YouTube channel. But yeah, that being said, thank you so much for listening and or watching. And be well, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes. Enhance your calm, listeners.
That is